We both grew up in the area, and then we moved away for a decade.
And when we moved back, we could live anywhere in the metro Atlanta area, and we chose to move to Peachtree City. And this is why so many others are too.
We moved back to the Atlanta area after being gone for 10 years. We looked all around, all the way up to Johns Creek, Alpharetta, Milton, and in the end, we decided on Peachtree City. And some of the reasoning that we went through to make that decision is very similar to the reasoning that our clients went through.
Yeah, when anybody's relocating to the Atlanta area, a lot of people look north of Atlanta and they look south of Atlanta. And a question we get a lot of times is, what's the difference? Why would we choose one over the other? And we had the opportunity to do that ourselves.
As a matter of fact, we really like Johns Creek, and we were seriously considering moving to Johns Creek. But one of the major things that took that off the list for us was I had a corporate sales job and I was going up to the Atlanta airport on a regular basis. Commuting from Johns Creek down to the airport and back is not the best.
We've had a lot of people that have actually lived north of Atlanta, absolutely loved it, but their job was taking them to the airport a lot for flying, and so they ended up in Peachtree City because they didn't want to spend an hour to 2 hours a day on the road.
When you're catching that early morning flight and you have to add another hour to that for your commute, or you get home, you've been gone all week long, and all you want to do is go home and get in the shower, kick on some pajamas and eat dinner, and you add an extra hour or two to that to get home, it can be brutal. There really isn't a better spot around Atlanta in the suburbs to live and commute up to the airport other than Peachtree City.
Exactly, and that's why we chose it. So Peachtree City is a planned community, and when it was developed initially in the late 50s, that was the first of its kind, and it got a ton of awards even into the early 2000s for that. It's not as unusual now, but the nice thing about a planned community is it's planned.
Hey, if you like these videos, do us a favor, like and subscribe, share with your friends. It really helps us out.
Absolutely. And if you're moving to the South Metro Atlanta area, please reach out. You can email us, call us, text us. We'll get right back to you.
And it doesn't matter if you're looking to move in a week, a month, or a year, we'd be glad to help you out way in advance.
So Peachtree City is built on the village concept. What does that mean?
So there are 5 different villages, and in each village there's an elementary school, there's a shopping center, there's tot lots, there's all kinds of things to do inside that village. And the idea behind it was you are a short golf cart, walk, bicycle ride, or a car ride away from being able to completely live in that village and never have to go outside of it if you didn't want to.
Now there's 5 villages. We have Braylon Village. Aberdeen Village was actually the original village. Then you have Glenlock Village. You have Kedron Village. I already mentioned Braylon. You have an industrial village, and then Wilkesmore. I remember my parents moved to Peachtree City in the 80s, and they had an information visitor center. There was this big map, and at the time, a lot of Peachtree City was not developed. But guess what? There were spots where they knew they were going to be developing.
There were 2 lakes in Peachtree City for decades, and they knew they were going to add a 3rd lake. Well in advance, they planned on where you could build and what you could do, and there are many people that built homes, promised there's going to be a lake in your backyard, and finally, several decades later, it showed up.
Added a lot of nice value to the property as well.
So the other thing about a planned community, especially with Peachtree City, is they had it in the golf cart trails. So you can walk on it, you can go for a jog, you can ride your bike, you can do your golf cart. They planned all that out in advance. So you can basically go anywhere in Peachtree City on a golf cart. Our kids went to high school, they took the golf cart to their work, go out to dinner. We did a video just on that, all the different things you can do on a golf cart that a lot of people, you say, hey, you can do everything on a golf cart, but you don't think of all the things you can do.
We have some clients that work in Peachtree City, they actually never use their car.
And we have a video on that too, where you can completely replace your car with a golf cart if you want to.
So it's basically one of the nice things about Peachtree City and the planned concept. It lends itself to that resort style living, which is awesome. Dave mentioned we have 3 lakes, You have the opportunity, you can actually swim in one of them, but you can fish, you can kayak, a canoe. He mentioned there's tot lots, there's some recreational areas. We have night market over by Drake Field, which is at Peachtree Lake.
And on Wednesdays and Saturday mornings, we've got the farmers market.
Exactly. So it really is kind of just a really charming place to live. So we can't talk about Peachtree City and leave off golfing.
I mean, there are so many big golf enthusiasts that move to Peachtree City and they thoroughly enjoy it. So we have 3, you join one, you basically join all 3, and that includes some other courses around the area. There's one golf course that's exclusive. It's just for people to join that one course. So we don't golf personally, but we join the social membership, and we really enjoy doing that.
And that's what I was going to talk about. Yeah, we love being able to go to the restaurants. They have different events that are nice for people to be able to participate in. And especially if you're moving to a new area and you don't know anybody, that's a really great opportunity to get to know people. They have this special events, they have things for children.
I want to touch on the events a little bit. They have parties you would think about, like for New Year's Eve and that kind of thing. But they also do things like on the 4th of July, one of the courses has a great view of the fireworks.
Yes.
And if you're a member, you can go out there and put out your blanket and then just enjoy, and they'll bring in food trucks, and it just makes it a whole different experience than fighting all the regular crowds.
And they have back to school events, and they also have different things. Like we had a client, their little kids were able to go out on the greens and camp for the night.
So if golf is your thing, Peachtree City should be at the top of your list.
So we talked about the multi-use path system, and we talked about the golf carts, but we really need to emphasize that.
And it's becoming more popular now to have golf cart paths in your city. What's really different about Peachtree City is because it was planned way in advance, is you can go everywhere. Like, I love downtown Sonoy. Downtown Sonoy is a great place.
Which is right near Peachtree City, and we have some other videos on that.
And you can drive your golf cart around downtown Sonoy and from some of the neighboring subdivisions around Sonoy.
This is a great idea. Let's do it now. It was not planned.
It works, but it doesn't work nearly as well as it does in Peachtree City.
And your kids, once they have a learner's permit, they can get out on the golf cart.
At 12 years old, they can drive a golf cart with an adult in the cart with them. But once they get a Georgia State learner's driver's permit, then they can drive a golf cart by themselves.
And they love that freedom. It's actually really nice for parents too, because as David said, we really wanted our kids to learn at 15 miles an hour. Some of them go a little faster than newer golf carts, but they can drive themselves to high school. And we've got some pictures of that with just a sea of golf carts, which is kind of impressive. They can also go to the store. It just lends itself to a little more freedom and a great transition into driving a car.
Well, I tell you, as a dad, I really appreciated being able to have them learn at 15 miles an hour instead of at 60 miles an hour. You do want to buy insurance on the golf carts, but it's cheap. It's a few $100s a year. When you got several kids driving at the same time, and with today's economy, if you could save a little bit of money and only spend that much on auto insurance, it's a nice savings.
So we talked about the kids driving the golf cart to high school. You got the moms and the dads that'll take the kids to elementary school or middle school in the golf cart. It's not unusual to see in the pickup line all the moms and dads waiting in the golf cart instead of a car. But we wanted to talk about schools.
So one of the big factors for almost everybody when you move is school. It's location, convenience, maybe with work, like that was at the top of the list. But almost everybody, if you have kids going to school, school is probably number one on your list.
And for those that maybe their kids have grown or they haven't had kids yet,
there's always resale.
There's the factory sale. Yeah.
You always have to think about resale when you're buying your house, because one day you might want to sell it. And if you're in a bad school district, it might be tougher.
So here's niche.com just put out an article for the state of Georgia. There's 159 counties in the state of Georgia. I had to look that up because I didn't know. But we are number 6. So there's several towns in Fayette County and Peachtree City. So we have 2 high schools. We have McIntosh High School and we have Stars Mill High School. And then you have 2 different middle schools. Booth Middle School feeds into McIntosh, and you have Rising Star, which feeds into Stars Mill.
So it's actually the Stars Mill complex. There's People's Elementary, Rising Star, and Stars Mill High School all in one big complex, where McIntosh, Booth, and then the other elementary schools are separated.
And you have a couple elementary schools that feed into Rising Star and
That's
Stars
true.
Mill too,
That's
that are a
true.
little further away. Basically, you have the south side of Peachtree City is
Stars Mill.
zoned for Stars Mill, and then you have the middle to the north side of Peachtree City is zoned for McIntosh.
Now there are a couple neighborhoods, just a couple, in Peachtree City that goes to Sandy Creek High School. So when you're moving to the area, and if you want a particular high school, make sure you have a good real estate agent.
Now, I will say to you, because a lot of people do research online for a lot of things, and we have had a lot of clients that for one reason or another, they really zeroed in on one particular high school. And we suggest always go visit the schools. And I would say 9 times out of 10, they end up saying, you know what, either one is great. They are wonderful schools. I think from the elementary level, they really welcome parental involvement, which I think is always important, and then great middle schools and high schools. So you really can't go wrong.
So also down the list is local traffic. When you're up in certain parts north of Atlanta, the suburbs up there, there are other areas around Atlanta for you to go 5 miles can take you 20 minutes. Peachtree City, for the most part, is very convenient. You hop in your car, you go there. If it's a mile away, it's going to take you a couple minutes. That's it. There's one exception, and that's the intersection of 54 and 74. So we have one main highway that goes east and west, and that's Highway 54. And we have one main highway that goes north and south, and that's 74. And where they cross, if you're there at the wrong time of day and you're going in the wrong direction, you can be stuck there for a few minutes, but it's not like hours. You might be stuck for an extra 10 minutes. It can be very irritating, but there are ways around it, and when you live here and you know the ways to get around it, the back ways, you avoid that intersection as much as humanly possible.
And as we said, there's the option of the golf cart, and there's plenty of people that use the golf cart to get over that way.
So we actually have one client that lives on one side of 74, right near that intersection, and they work on the other side. And for them to drive to it at key times in the morning and then coming home in the evening, it can take them maybe 30 minutes. They go up on the golf cart and they can do it in 7 minutes.
Yeah, so it makes, at least you have some options, where in some areas you're not going to have any options. And then one thing, it's not necessarily unique to Peachtree City,
But it's
just
really
unique,
good for the area.
yes, and unique to Georgia is the proximity to both beaches and then also mountains.
So in just a couple hours, you can hop on the interstate and you go south, and you can be at the beach and drinking a margarita in the sand. Or you can hop in the car and you can go north, and you can be in the North Georgia mountains and enjoying the snow in the middle of winter.
Yeah, so really from Peachtree City, 2 to 2.5 hours. Now the beaches, that's probably going to be what, more like 4 hours, Dave?
It depends on the beach.
Wow.
You can get to closer beaches a little quicker, and then some of the further beaches away, but there's tons of beach options. I'd say anywhere between 3 and 5 hours,
Okay.
and you can get to a ton of beaches.
So, and definitely the mountains, 2 hours, 2.5 hours at the most. So you have such a diverse opportunity there, and there's a lot of people that they love to do just Georgia vacations.
If you're into outdoor sports between hunting and fishing, hiking, you name it, it is in this state.